NMR. There's not much to carbon 13 NMR. Just one second. So carbon 13 nuclear magnetic resonance. So like HNMR, it's basically exactly. You don't even have to study this again. It's exactly the same as HNMR, except for a few things. The first thing is that it has an odd number of nucleons, and because of having odd number of nucleons, it's going to resonate. Okay, which is why it's going to have resonance. Like for example, if there's a nucleus of carbon 13, then that carbon 13 would have it's going to have 13 nucleons. Okay, and if it has 13 nucleons, just one second. Now the only other thing about this is the data booklet thing. Okay, okay. If you look at the data booklet, so you have a separate page for HNMR and you have a separate page for carbon 13 NMR. Okay, somewhere I need this is infrared. I said this is carbon 13. So if you have a look at carbon 13, so everything would be provided here. This the chemical shift values. For example, this one. Okay, there's a carbon next to alkene. So if there's a carbon next to alkene or a carbon next to arene, carbon next to benzene, it would resonate at 10 to 40 chemical shift. If there's a carbon next to carbonyl, carbonyl or carboxyl group, okay, for example, it's next to CO or an ester, serial bond O, or any serial bond O, it's going to resonate at 25 to 50. Then there's a carbon next to NH2 or N or NHCO, it's going to resonate within this range. So every type of carbon environment is provided. Okay, so there's a carbon next to OH, that would be 50 to 70. I said now the issue is that carbon 13 is to quite an extent useless. Reason is that if you look at all these peaks, they are all at very similar ranges. TK zero. I mean, the first one is 0 to 50. The next one is 10 to 40. So how would you distinguish whether it's the first one or the second one? This one is 25 to 50, 30 to. All of them are overlapping. So pretty much you can't really figure out much, except for maybe an alcohol. You would notice that there's a carbon next to an OH if it's 50 to 70 range, but even that is overlapping with this one, carbon next to halogen. So you can't really be sure what type of carbon it is. So you're not going to get much of an information even if you look at the data booklet. These ones, I mean, you have more chances of identifying any one of these. For example, a benzene carbon can be identified using this, or or maybe a carboxylic acid. Aldehydes and ketones, they would also be resonating at almost the same frequencies. Uh, these two are not overlapping. Okay, so but most of the time you're not going to get a very big question on this. Questions would be very similar, and they would just be asking what are the chemical shift ranges for this. For example, they might ask you KF1 कहाँ पे है? So you just open the data booklet, serial bond O. So have a look. I mean, I think this is carbonyl serial bond O. So you're going to tell them that it would resonate at a frequency of 190 to 220 chemical shift. Or they might ask you carbon in the double bond. I mean, this is a carbon in a double bond, right? So where would that resonate? So find a carbon that's part of the double bond, which I think is not here. This one. Carbon which is part of the double bond, alkene. That would resonate at 110 to 160. So most of the questions are going to be fairly simple, okay? ये clear सारों को? Ali, is this clear, Sarah? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, so इसके अलावा we'll do past papers, but you don't get a lot of questions on carbon 13. Just very simple questions on carbon 13. अच्छा, what there's only one analytical technique that's left, and that one is chromatography, okay, which has nothing to do with carbon 13 NMR or HNMR. So let's start talking about chromatography. ठीक है. The first thing is I'm going to talk about O-levels chromatography. That's paper chromatography. That's number one. ठीक है. So number one is paper chromatography. I said now in paper chromatography you have a thing कि पहले तो O-levels वाला कि O-levels में क्या होता था? What was the concept? You take a chromatogram, उसको ना आप place करते थे. You would add it, dip it in water, not water precisely, but any solvent. ठीक है. This was a solvent. You would put a line with a pencil on the chromatogram and you would place a dye there. Okay, so you're going to place a dye. Remember, chromatography is just not used to, I mean, there's no limitation. It's not always dyes that are separated. Anything could be separated as long as it fits the criteria. Okay, how does the paper chromatography function? So what happens is the solvent travels upwards. Okay, it starts to travel upward. Okay, for example, if you dip a tissue paper on one end, the entire tissue paper would become uh, wet after a certain time because it's a very absorbent material. So chromatograms are very absorbent, and the water or the solvent it starts to travel upwards. Now the solvent would travel the most. Okay, so this is all this. I mean, this would eventually become all wet by the solvent because the solvent is traveling upwards. तो ये जो ऊपर लाइन है टॉप तक ठीक है this would be called your solvent front. ठीक है, this line would be slowly moving upwards. Why would it be slowly moving upwards? कि पहले यहाँ तक गीला होगा फिर आहिस्ता आहिस्ता the solvent would keep on traveling upwards. So this line is the separation between the wet part and the dry part. ठीक है, उससे ऊपर ना everything would be dry. Below it everything would be wet. So there's a solvent front and as the solvent moves, the dye also starts to move. And the dye starts to travel with the solvent. Now some dyes would travel, if the dye is a mixture, let's say it's a mixture of dye 1 and dye 2. Some dyes would cover a larger distance, some would cover a lesser distance. So why do you think the dyes are getting separated? What was the reason for this? Abulera, क्या reason?
Yes, sir. Is it like they have different mixtures?
नहीं, they have
Because the mixture has different affinities.
different
Sir, they have different affinities.
affinities. बोले ये word बोला है affinity या मतलब what's the property जिसकी basis के ऊपर the separation is happening? That's what the question is. किसी को पता अली क्या word बोला था? अच्छा ये मैं बता रहा हूँ कि dye is separate because of there's a concept called partition and you'll be asked about this. Okay, there's a concept called partition. I'm going to talk about partition in a bit more detail. Partition is dyes separate because they have different solubilities. ठीक है, for example, dye 1 would be more soluble in the solvent, तो वो उसके साथ साथ ना it would travel upwards. Dye 2 might not be very soluble, so it just remains behind. So dyes or substances are separated because because of different solubilities. Between stationary and mobile phase. अच्छा तो So the separation is done because they have different solubilities. If they don't have different solubilities, let's say if they have the same solubility, so the dyes are going to travel exactly the same distance. Okay. So there's a stationary and mobile phase. I'm going to come to that a little later. Okay, what's the stationary and what's the mobile phase? So that's how dyes are getting separated. Then there's a thing called the RF value. What's the RF value? किसी को याद है? It's called the retention factor.
So is it the distance in the solvent or divided by?
The distance of the dye travels divided by the distance the solvent travels. It's always less than 1. Okay, so it's the distance traveled by the dye divided by the distance traveled by the solvent. For example, let's say dye 2 travels a distance of let's say 4 centimeters. And the solvent travels a distance of let's say 10 centimeters. So the answer would be 4 divided by. It's going to be 4 divided by 10, and it's going to be 0.4. That would be the RF value of dye 2. Okay, specifically it's the RF value. I mean, this one we're calculating the RF value of dye 2. Okay, is this clear? Abu Huraira clear hai? Ali clear hai?
जी सर.
अच्छा, फिर RF value से ना, one thing you must remember is कि if the dye travels a large distance, तो उसका मतलब वो 0.9 होगा या 0.8 होगा, ठीक है, top तक. If it travels a lesser distance, so it would be around 0.1, 0.2. If it travels somewhere in the middle, like this one, it would be around 0.5. Okay, so that is what is meant by what the value of the RF value is going to indicate. 0.9, 0.9, 0.95, 0.8 होगा, so that means it's right at the top. Solvent के बिल्कुल साथ साथ है. If it's 0.1, 0.2, it would be somewhere at the bottom. If it's 0.5, it's somewhere in the middle. Okay, so remember that as well. Okay, how do you think of an RF value? Okay, now the separation is only possible if the dyes have different RF values, if they travel different distances. So that's how dyes are separated using paper chromatography. Then there's a thing called two-way paper chromatography. Okay, so now let's talk about two-way paper chromatography. I said this is something that is exactly the same, except that you did not do this in O levels. As a two-way paper chromatography. As a two-way paper chromatography is the problem that happens a lot is let's say dye 1 and dye 2 have the same solubility in solvent 1. Let's say solvent 1 is hexane. Anyways, so the point is okay, dye 1 and dye 2 have the same solubility in hexane. Now the problem is, and let's call that solvent 1. So masla ye hoga कि the dyes are not going to separate using solvent 1, and that's a very I mean that is quite possible. If the solvent that you're using, the dyes might have the same solubility and they're not going to separate. Okay, ये clear? Sara, is this clear? Are you clear?
जी सर.
तो आप क्या करोगे? You would use a different solvent, ठीक है? So what you're going to do is कि chromatography दोबारा कर लो. This time what you do is use another solvent, and then अब जरूरी नहीं है कि if you change the solvent, if for example in hexane the dye 1 and dye 2 have the same solubility, then probably in another solvent they might have different solubilities. So Di1 and Di2 have different solubilities in ethanol, let's say. You can load another. One second. So the point I was making was Di1 and Di2 have both have also. So they have what I was writing was okay, they have the one on board Ludo. They have different solubility in, let's say, ethanol. Okay, that's a solvent too. So the point I was trying to make was okay, if I want to separate Di1 and Di2, then using one solvent would not guarantee that they are separated, because there's a very good probability they might be soluble equally, and they would travel the same distance. So you have to use multiple solvents. That's why I mean that would ensure solubility. If I do a chromatography using multiple solvents, then that would ensure that the dyes are getting separated. Okay, is this point clear? Sarah, is this clear? Are you clear?
Yes.
Okay, so one way is I can repeat the chromatography over and over again. Uh, Maybe I can use three solvents, and that would ensure that the dyes are getting separated. So what you do is you do two-way chromatography. What that does is you take a piece of chromatogram, you place the dye over here at the bottom at one corner, okay? And you dip it in a solvent. Let's say you dip it in hexane. Okay, this side is hexane. Now you've dipped it in hexane. Hexane would travel upwards, and as hexane travels upwards, it's going to what it's going to do is it's going to separate the dye, right? So the dye gets separated into the dye gets separated into let's say three dyes. But in reality, it had four dyes. There was dye one in it, there was dye two in it, there was dye three in it as well, and there was dye four in it as well. The problem was that dye two and dye three had the same solubility in hexane. So what happened was dye two and dye three they traveled exactly the same distance. So this one over here is dye two plus dye three. They did not get separated because they had exactly the same solubility and they traveled exactly the same distance. Dye one जो है ना वो that had a large RF value, it traveled a large distance, whereas dye four traveled very little distance. ठीक है? तो इसका मतलब है the separation by using hexane only, separation is not complete क्योंकि dye two और dye three have still not gotten separated. ठीक है? So what you do now is कि आप इस क्रोमेटोग्राम को पकड़ते हो, सेम वन, ठीक है, यू पुट इट ऑन द साइड, और उसको मैं पकड़ के बल्कि कर भी देता हूँ. So we've done chromatography once with hexane. So what you're going to do is you take it, chromatogram को उसमें से निकाला है हेक्सेन में से, ठीक है, so हेक्सेन is gone now. और अब क्या कर रहे हो, क्रोमेटोग्राफी दोबारा कर रहे हो, but now what you're using is you're using a different solvent. और क्रोमेटोग्राफी का ये वाला जो एज है ना, अब उसको डिप किया उसके अंदर, सॉल्वेंट नंबर 2 के अंदर, ठीक है, so you're going to dip it in solvent number 2, which is let's say your ethanol, ठीक है, that's your solvent number 2. अब solvent number 2 किस डायरेक्शन में ट्रैवल करेगा, वो पहला वाला खत्म हो गया, ठीक है, I've taken it out of hexane. So solvent 2 is going to travel upwards. And what would happen is all these dyes, they would get, I mean, the chromatography is happening again, but now with ethanol. And what happens is dye 1 जो है ना वो let's say travel करती हुई ना यहाँ तक आ गई है. अच्छा, dye 2 और dye 3 की solubility जो थी ethanol के अंदर was different. So let's say they got separated. ठीक है, for example, this is dye 3 and this is dye 2 and this is dye 1. Or dye 4 जो है ना, that traveled very little in ethanol. ठीक है, so now what you're getting is you're getting 4 dyes now, and all of them they got separated eventually. Okay, first thing was you did chromatography in this direction, and you got these blue spots. Okay, the black spot that you added over here, पहले आपने hexane में डाला, ठीक है, and the dye started traveling in this direction. Or you got dye 4 that got separated, dye 1 got separated, but dye 2 and dye 3 did not get separated because they had exactly the same solubility and they traveled exactly the same distance. फिर आपने उस पेपर को उल्टा किया, उसमें से निकाला, and you dipped it into another, उसकी जो side है ना, the other side, you dipped it into another solvent which is ethanol. Then ethanol started traveling in another direction, and your dyes got separated because of ethanol. Dye 1 moved here, ठीक है, it did not get separated क्योंकि वो पहले solvent ने उसको separate कर दिया था, ठीक है, so no further separation happened. Dye 2 and dye 3 were not separated by the first solvent, but in the second solvent, they were traveling different distances, so they got separated. And dye 4 was already separated by the first solvent, so it did not get separated by the second solvent, so it traveled a distance but did not get separated क्योंकि वो पहले ही separate हो चुकी थी from the others. ये clear है सारों को, सारा is this clear? Ali, Aisha,
Yes, sir.
Abu Naira, clear है?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, so
Yes, sir.
so at
Sir, we rotate anti-clockwise, 90 degree.
हाँ, but basically, I mean, this was first you dipped this side, and then you dipped the side next to it in the solvent.
Okay, sir.
Okay. I said now sometimes you'll be given values. For example, the first type of question that you're going to get is you're using solvent 1 and solvent 2. Let's call it S1 and S2. So for example, there's dye 1, and they're saying that the RF value, okay, these are RF values, is 0.5, and for this it's also 0.5. Of a dye 2 जो है, its RF value is 0.5 in the first solvent and its RF value is 0.2 in the second solvent. So how would the chromatogram look? Okay, and you're being asked to sketch the chromatogram. So what you're going to do is there are two solvents. Now it's up to you where in which direction would solvent 1 travel. So let's say solvent 1 is traveling in this direction. That's your spot, and this is S1 traveling. What does now focus on S1? What are the RF values? Both have exactly the same RF value, which is 0.5. So इसका मतलब है they would not be separated by solvent 1 because they're going to travel the same distance. और कितना distance travel करेंगे वो? बीच में होंगे, top पे होंगे, bottom पे होंगे, किधर होंगे? What does RF value 0.5 mean?
Each way on.
ठीक है, so both dyes D1 and D2 would basically end up here. So इसका मतलब है the first solvent would fail to actually separate them. Therefore, you're going to use solvent number 2. Okay, you're going to use solvent number 2 Now solvent number 2 would travel in this other direction. Okay, you're dipping the other side into this. So this is gone now. मतलब this वो पहले ही ऊपर travel कर चुका है, ठीक है? मतलब this traveled upward in solvent number 1. Now the dyes are going to travel in the other direction, and dye 1 has an RF value of 0.5, so it would be somewhere over here. That's dye 1. And dye 2 would have an RF value of 0.2, which means it would be somewhere at the beginning. So now this one, the first one was traveling in this direction, but no separation happened. And then you added solvent number 2. You get this one S2, and the dyes started traveling in this direction. So that indicates that separation is happening now. And your final result would be this thing. It would be dye 1 and it would be dye 2. Okay, is this clear? Abura, clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why don't we use the second solvent at first place?
Because we don't even know what the substances are. Like we're assuming we don't know the RF values. Okay, let's say there's a mixture, an unknown mixture, okay? अगर तो मुझे पता होता कि dye 1 और dye 2 है क्या, तो I would just use solvent number 2, right? So the thing is that we have an unknown sample, okay? For example, blood ka sample here, it's an unknown sample, we don't know. So multiple solvents use karoge, so the chances of separation is more. That would ensure that the substances are getting separated. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा इसके कॉन्सेप्ट के ऊपर चले जाते हैं कि लेट्स से पेपर क्रोमेटोग्राफी थोड़ा सा कॉन्सेप्ट है, ठीक है? पेपर क्रोमेटोग्राफी, अच्छा पेपर क्रोमेटोग्राफी में यूज पेपर, ये साइड व्यू है, ठीक है? दिस इज पेपर इज सेलुलोज जो होता है ना उसमें OH ग्रुप्स होते हैं, ठीक है? व्हेन यू डू पेपर क्रोमेटोग्राफी उसको आप एक सॉल्वेंट में डिप करते हैं, लेट्स से दिस इज एथेनॉल, लेकिन उसको वैसे ही डिप नहीं कर देते. व्हाट यू डू इज कि यू फर्स्ट सोक इट इन वाटर. मोस्टली व्हाट यू डू इज यू सोक इट इन वाटर. तो उससे क्या होता है कि वाटर मॉलिक्यूल्स, टाइनी वाटर मॉलिक्यूल्स, दे कंप्लीटली सराउंड द, मतलब उसकी जो टॉप सरफेस होती है ना, दैट gets surrounded by water molecules. I mean that's what wet paper looks like. ठीक है? और ये water molecules हिल नहीं रहे होंगे, they wouldn't be traveling, they are stuck in their place. So that's basically a wet chromatogram, and that's known as your stationary phase. So stationary phase जो होती है वो usually, stationary phase is the phase that's not moving. तो आपने ना एक soaked filter paper या chromatogram इसके अंदर dip किया, so it is completely surrounded by water molecules. The water molecules are not moving around. वो hydrogen bonding करके ना they're stuck on the filter paper. Ethanol के molecules जो है ना, they would start traveling over the thin film of water. So solvents in ethanol के molecule, they would start traveling upwards, and वो ऐसे करके they would keep on traveling. ठीक है? This is known as your mobile phase. ठीक है? ये भी clear है सारों को? Is this clear? अबुरा clear है? सारा clear है? Ali?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, अब why was the concept known as partition? That's what I'm explaining. कि जो concept था ना वो partition था. Substance separate because of different solubility between stationary and mobile phase. So the concept is कि दोनों layers के अंदर ना there's a partition. ठीक है? मतलब वो ऊपर नीचे जो है ना bottom के ऊपर that's your water layer. उसको थोड़ा सा सही कर लें. अच्छा, that's your water layer, और उसके top पे ना there's a solvent layer that's traveling upwards. Now, if the dye is soluble in water, more soluble in water, तो वो किधर move कर जाएगी? Water की layer में. ठीक है? और अगर वो water की layer में dissolve हो जाती है तो water की layer तो move ही नहीं कर रही, तो it would stop moving. And if the dye is more soluble in the solvent, तो वो किधर move कर जाएगी? Mobile phase के अंदर. and it would start traveling with the mobile phase. So it depends on the dye. It's the difference in solubility of the dye between the stationary phase and mobile phase. That's why separation happens. If it's more soluble in the water layer is not moving at all. So it's going to stay stuck there and it's not going to move. Otherwise, it's going to move into the mobile phase and it would start moving. Okay? You clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that is partition. ये थोड़ी सी detail है इसकी paper chromatography. Remember, this is only paper chromatography. So substances separate because of different solubilities between stationary and mobile phase. RF value का पता करना है. Two-way paper chromatography, understand करना है what's two-way paper chromatography. You might be given actual graphs to actually sketch them. मतलब 0.5 का मतलब है कि अगर 10 डब्बे बने होंगे ना उसका मतलब है वो 5 they would move 5 boxes. 0.2 का मतलब है if there are 10 boxes then the die would move 2 boxes. ठीक है? इसका बस ख्याल रखना है. So ठीक है, there's not much in paper chromatography.
Sir,
Yes.
how do we find the RF value in the two-way chromatography? Because we are using two different solvents.
हाँ तो वो दोनों का डिफरेंट यूज करोगे ना कि आपको देखना पड़ेगा. लेट्स से कि आपको ना रिजल्ट दिया हुआ है खाली, मतलब ये जो प्रोसेस है ना दैट्स नॉट गिवन. आपको बस दिया हुआ है कि जी ये दो डाइज हैं. दैट्स द रिजल्ट ऑफ टू वे पेपर क्रोमेटोग्राफी. तो आरएफ वैल्यू निकालनी है डाई 1 और डाई 2 की. तो सॉल्वेंट 1 की डायरेक्शन में पहले निकालो ना. सॉल्वेंट 1 में दिस इज द डिस्टेंस ट्रैवल्ड by the die in solvent 1. This is solvent 1 distance. तो आरएफ वैल्यू निकल आएगी solvent 1 के अंदर. ये क्लियर है?
Yes, sir.
और अगर solvent 2 के अंदर आरएफ वैल्यू निकालनी है, दोनों के अंदर सेपरेट आरएफ वैल्यूज होंगी. ठीक है? तो solvent 2 के अंदर डाई ने कितना डिस्टेंस ट्रैवल किया है? इतना. और solvent 2 ने कितना डिस्टेंस ट्रैवल किया है? वो इतना किया है. So that would be RF value in solvent 2. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
तो दोनों solvents में the RF value is going to be different. ठीक है? चलिए ठीक है, ये बस फिर कल कंटिन्यू करते हैं. ठीक है? ओके. ठीक है, अल्लाह हाफिज़.
Allah Hafiz.